Oh.
So today we're hiking and we thought that maybe we should do a little bit of a talk. Because I don't think we ever did the official story of how we met each other and how we started dating. So I thought maybe we can chat about it a bit. Some of you know that I divorced in 2012 from my previous marriage, and it was coming for a while, for a few years before that. I just saw it coming, and I think my ex-spouse saw it coming too. So around March is when we really drifted apart, and around April we definitely officially kind of stopped talking to each other and just started the process of the divorce. And I found myself surprisingly, at first I was a little depressed, but then I was surprisingly liberated. I felt actually good and I was very surprised and almost angry that I felt so good to be alone. But I'm pretty sure some of you might agree with me on that if you've been through a divorce. And I started talking to a lot of people because I felt very lonely and felt very vulnerable and insecure about my future, about myself. I didn't know what was happening with me. How can I live by myself in America? So I started talking online to a lot of you and a lot of Facebook friends, a lot of ASMR community, and I started to participate more and more in the community. And on Facebook we had a group where a lot of different ASMR artists chatted and just talked about everything. So one of them was a tag, and Daryl was a part of it. So now you tell your story.
So probably I found ASMR community through not really depression, but kind of rough time in my life when I was going through some changes. And sometime in, I think, 2011, I really started utilizing video content of ASMR and helped me sleep, helped me relax, kind of de-stress. And probably towards the end of 2011, I really felt the need. Again, I think most people that make these type of videos want to kind of give back because they've gotten so much out of them, so they feel like they can maybe help the next person. So I kind of had that feeling, and I just started making videos on my phone. Again, I wasn't really sure if it would, you know, be worth it at all or anything, but it felt good to kind of give back to people. And so again, I started my channel, I think in the very beginning of 2012, and again, just did some videos, but I was pretty active, participating, talking to people in the community. Again, at the time I was going through a divorce of my own, and so I did kind of, again, lean on these videos a lot and the people in the community to kind of be a support group almost for me. And we ended up making a tag video.
Yeah, so we chatted through first this tag, and through that I found out the first time about him, and he seemed so sweet and very attractive to me right away. I was a lonely woman at that time, very vulnerable. But as soon as I saw him, I just, something clicked in me right away. I really got interested in him. So I started watching his videos, we started talking, first on Facebook, then through some YouTube too, but mostly through Facebook. And then after...
Talked a lot on Facebook. I think
yeah, we did.
In like 1 month, my messages was like 10,000 messages just between her, and I was like, I've never talked to anybody that much in my life.
Yeah, me neither.
We had times where we just like talked on the phone for like 6 to 8 hours at a time. And
yeah. So after a while, after I think a few weeks of talking just through Facebook, we just really got this, like, it was so easy. Like, it was like this, like we knew each other immediately. At least I felt like.
Yeah, same for me.
The response was like I'm looking in the mirror and we're just talking to each other continuously. So it was really cool, especially again during that time when you're like so lost and feel like you lack a lot and you feel like you failed your first marriage, and finding someone that quickly to talk to you that easily was very, very unique to me, and I just grabbed on to that.
Same for me too.
Because I understood, yeah, how rare that was. So we started talking on the phone maybe a few weeks down the road after we spoke on Facebook for a while, And then we started Skyping. So we spoke for
a couple months.
Yeah, like this on the phone, just from a distance. And then we started started to build feelings for each other. So like towards the end of May or something, Daryl said, yeah, I would like to come and take you out on a date.
Yeah, I think we went for Memorial Day on our first date. So at the time I lived in Michigan, you were in Maryland.
Yeah.
So then we kind of would have like a weekend. I would just come to Maryland, we'd hang out, kind of do some fun stuff, go like touristy spots, hang out, talk. And then at that time, again, I was at a point in my life where I could kind of stay in Michigan. I did just get separated, so I needed to find like new place to stay. I'd have to find, you know, a rental and stuff like that. And at the time, she again was going through a very similar situation and almost needed a roommate.
Yeah, I needed a roommate to help me with the bills too.
So we kind of again had already been like dating
it.
Somewhat online. I mean, it was, I don't know if we were like officially dating or whatever, but we were pretty much dating.
Yeah.
I guess as much as you can online. I mean, we were talking all the time, every day, for like I said, multiple times. So we thought, hey, perfect opportunity. Maybe everything lined up for this to happen. Let's at least see if we can live together. I know it's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
Because most people, again, but I feel like we had already known each other.
We were in the total maybe for 5 dates.
Yeah,
5, 6
over a couple
dates
months.
For a few days at a time. So he would come stay in a hotel here, and I would just come visit him. And then the later dates were when he would stay with me already in my place, so we didn't have to pay for a hotel because it gets quite expensive, the travel and staying in hotels for a few days a month. So we just decided that maybe he could move in, because within those few days that he would stay with me over the weekend or just a bit longer in my house, he was so much help. And I was not used to that whatsoever. He would help me right away with everything, like just cleaning up and putting things away and helping me with food and dishes and just helping out in the house and carrying groceries right away.
That's why you're keeping me around.
And I was like, oh my god, I have never been with a man who's like actually helps in anything.
I see now. As a
well, on top of everything,
servant.
On top of everything, the connection was there. The spark for me was there. Again, I was very attracted to you physically, emotionally, and I felt again very secure with you. And then to see that you were a great partner, if you call it, in life, it was just another level for me. So I just like,
yeah, same thing for me again.
Cool dude, I want it. I want it.
I felt the same way. Again, there was I just automatically felt a draw to you anyway. So it just kind of was seamlessly. We both kind of fit together, and living together ended up not even being. It's like we had lived together for quite a while, which is, again, I was kind of surprised. I thought there'd be
there
some
was no breaking
rocky
of
periods
ice
or anything like that. It really was not that bad.
Nothing at all. No, we split the bills right away. When he moved, you were unemployed for like a month or something, and then he moved in and he started working and I was working, so we were both
just
like
kind of
immediately
hit the ground running.
It just like literally we were just together right away.
Yeah, it was
so
weird.
For a lot of people, I think from outside, it seemed very rushed and very quick and surprisingly almost inappropriate, I would think.
To some people,
because we both, our divorces were not finalized, but we have definitely moved on.
We're
like
fully,
we were still separated.
But actual legal proceedings.
But actually legally, we weren't like.
I'm sure some people did not appreciate that, and I mean, to each their own. You know, that's.
For me personally, sorry to interrupt you. I have moved on during my marriage.
Yeah, same for me too. I mean.
As sad as it is, I gave it a chance and a try until the very end, until I just gave up. There was it. I just walked away without much pain at that point, because all of my pain was during the marriage, on the points where I was breaking into disconnection.
Yeah, it's probably more difficult for people again who go through a rough divorce, if you will.
Yeah, like if somebody or
if children are involved. Neither one of us at that time have children, so there wasn't custody battles to have to go through. It was just basically splitting all of our stuff. So and I think all 4 of us that were in the relationships have all of us have already gone our separate ways mentally. It's just on paper it hadn't been finalized. So relationship.
We definitely fell in love first, and then we met.
Yeah, and then met
so
after that.
It was weird because we really already fall in love with each other, but we just never met in life. So now I'm gonna tell you about our first date, because that was very interesting. Oh, sorry, my leg fell asleep.
God, it's so nice and peaceful watching this water.
It is absolutely beautiful, I know. Even from this angle. Yes, so our first date was very amusing. So we decided to meet at his hotel. He just came from Michigan, and I was coming back from my work. So as a Russian woman, I always knew that the way to man's heart is through his stomach. So I decided to cook some food for him. So I decided to buy a bottle of cognac, bring a huge gallon of iced tea, and I made him some chicken patties, which are now his favorite, and like some stuffed crab sticks. I think he didn't really like those, but he really liked the chicken patties. So I knew I had to melt the ice somehow and get like into this feminine, softer side to like feed the man who just was driving all this time. It's like 10-hour drives one way, I'm just saying. So I knock on the door, and I'm like with the huge bag with food and drinks and everything. So that's the first time we saw each other. He opens the door, I knock on the door, and he just lifts me up like this right away and just carries me into the room. And we kind of give each other a peck on the face and just kind of saw each other first time in real life. So that was fun. We got like awkward, like all shaking.
It was nervous because again, you talk to somebody on the phone or on Skype for quite some time, and then when you finally meet them, it is a little different. I mean, you know them, but you don't physically know them. You've never seen them in person, so
yeah, you gotta.
It is a little different.
You gotta break the ice.
I was a little awkward. I was a little like kind of standing up against the wall.
Yeah, he like kind of stood against the wall.
Yeah, I was a little nervous.
And I'm like, okay, well, I brought you some food, and I figured I'm gonna break the ice this way. Being a real Russian woman, I just spread the food. Like I brought crackers also with salami or something, and chicken patties, and I did like the whole little meal for us.
It's quite the spread.
And I started pouring cognac, like shots of cognac and sweet tea, like to chase it with. And he's just standing there like, I don't know. I'm like so shy or awkward. I don't even remember what he was saying.
I don't know.
And I was like, okay, I have to take the initiative right now. Because I know that we love each other, so there's nothing really to worry about. So we just gotta break through it.
Just awkward.
It's just awkward, yeah. So like, okay, so here's a shot. I'm giving him a shot of cognac. And he's like taking it in, and I'm like putting chicken patties in his mouth. So he keeps eating and like drinking continuously after one after the other. Because I know when you get tipsy, you get looser, and it gets more easy. So after a couple of shots, I think we kind of broke the ice. Yeah, and we like started kissing, so it was very nice. And we talked, and it was a great night. And then I stayed overnight with him in the hotel, and in the morning, that's usually a test. I don't know if it's for guys too, but for women it's a test. If you wake up and you still feel good about it, like looking at the person, that means it's your person. If you don't feel awkward or like want to leave as soon as you can, that means that you're in a good place. So your heart's in the right place in that moment. So, and I felt very secure and very nice. We started hugging, and it was great. And there was no turning back after that. I think it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. And the first night, I remember he's like, oh, poor thing. He just...
Yeah, I was pretty nervous. Again, I did drive for like, I worked and I drove for like 10 hours. And I broke down on the way. I had an older Jeep Wrangler. And it broke down on the way. And I had to get it fixed, and then we got back on the road. So it was kind of that being nervous, and then like that kind of factoring into everything. I probably was a little bit over nervous. No reason to be. Again, we did kind of already know each other pretty well, but never in person. So yeah, the chicken patties to this day are my favorite. Yeah. Yeah, you did good with that.
That's right.
Yeah, we had a good couple weekends. I kept visiting, and then we finally just decided again, you know, it was time for me to find a place back there or find a place somewhere else. So we figured let's just try it. And I think by the end of the summer, I had moved to Maryland. Yeah,
like midsummer, yeah.
So 2012, yeah, September-ish. I was kind of living in Maryland then.
Yeah. So that was very cool. That's when the whole ASMR thing kicked off too, because like that September 2012 is when we had the first media exposure in Vice magazine or whatever it was, and it was my very first interview too. So it was literally like a month or so into us living together when the whole thing kicked up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he was my rock ever since, and pushing and helping and supporting.
Yeah, again.
And believing in me.
Yeah, and again, I think we both see how much it helped us.
Yeah.
So it's
ASMR
kind of,
itself,
you know, we're kind of passionate about it.
So yes, now we've been together for, well, in May it's going to be 6 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we couldn't be happier. 6? Yes, 6 years. That's right.
2012.
Yeah. So
then
now
we got married?
And we're gonna be married in September.
1 year.
For 1 year. So that's nice.
Yeah.
So that's our story.
That's it.
Yes.
Just fast forward and we're here.
Yes. So thank you for watching us too. And
Yes, hopefully it clears up
enjoying us.
any questions, because I know people are kind of confused.
Yeah.
And don't understand everything, and I'm sure some people still not.
Yeah, and a lot of people like gossip or say bad things, and I understand. I
Again,
really
to
could
each their
care
own.
less, to be honest.
To each their own. Do your own thing.
Yeah. I know for me, again, for us both, yes, it was kind of weirdly rushed in a way, but it's not something that we initiated. It just happened that way. It just very naturally, organically grew into something.
I think we're just lucky that we found
yeah.
each other again. We both had very similar interests. We're very similar in the way we think and things that we enjoy, like nature and stuff like that. So, and we kind of balance each other out. We both kind of pick each other up when the other one's down and kind of help each other out. I think
everything I lacked in my life, I have found in him. In the weird way. Even in more places that I didn't know I needed help in, I was surprised at how much better it was. So
same for me.
yes. So I hope you enjoyed our story. Thank you so much for watching.
Yes, let's enjoy the beautiful nature now.
Yes, so pretty. Yes.
Yes, bye.